Self-discovery is often associated with defining one's core values and purpose, but what about actually meeting yourself, much less conversing with them, working side by side and at times annoying them because of the wrong dialogue choice? Such is the dilemma that Alters, 11-bit Studios' sci-fi survival game, posed last year when Jan Dulski ended up stranded on a hostile planet and created alters of himself from the mysterious substance, Rapidium. Not clones in the traditional sense, but versions with completely different paths, leading them to different professions, which meant more manpower to take care of the giant moving base and avoid the deadly sun. It was a whole thing. Depending on your choices, the scientist's alter could end up staying on the planet. Don't worry if you didn't go that route, Last Variable is a standalone story that picks up from that particular ending. So whatever happened to that self-absorbed, socially awkward version of Jan? Well, death. The answer is death.
There it is. The reason I'm here.
Not the permanent kind, though. In his final moments, he created another Jan scientist to continue his mission of researching the mysterious oasis. Nothing is known about that site, except that it can survive the devastating sunrise that destroys everything else on the planet. With the research lab requiring repairs and no materials on hand, Last Variable continues a familiar cycle, venturing out into the unknown, collecting and mining resources while avoiding anomalies, and yes, creating some alters to lend a hand where needed. It's the base game through and through, and while it probably won't win over any new fans, the sharp writing and dynamics with each alter keep you hooked, even as you're running around from pillar to post, desperately trying to complete tasks before you're too exhausted to continue. It's a more constrained setup because the scientist himself is holed up in an underground bunker rather than a moving base. Your original didn't really leave much behind, save for Janbot, an AI/LLM who occasionally slips into an absurdist phase when answering questions. That, and the whiteboard where all your scientific discoveries and hypotheses go, a physical manifestation of your progress en route to learning more about the Oasis.
Easy now, no need to rush it. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, nice. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, surprising, but hey, also exciting. Tell me there's more of us. Have we maybe evolved somehow, like the Oasis does?
The other big difference is the alters who join your cause, some more abrasive than others. Since Jan Scientist serves as the base, each variant is from a different branch of science, of course. The same rules still apply. Their life paths and adjoining personalities are completely different. So when I welcomed the physicist for the first time, I didn't expect an arrogant semi-celebrity who was none too pleased about his assignment. Same goes for the geologist, an energetic, even when under meds, individual who wondered if we had Rapidium-fueled buggies or jetpacks. Suffice it to say that Alex Jordan, who voices all versions of Jan, continues to do some heavy lifting, instilling some fantastic personality into each alter. But it's more than that, as the writing ensures you actually care, or loathe them depending on the situation. I kind of felt bad seeing the geologist get frustrated when I said his calling was mining, even though those were the benefits he provided. On the other hand, seeing the physicist grow more frustrated because I didn't get his vision was occasionally a treat. I didn't want him to blow up and cause potential issues, but then again, maybe I did to see what would happen. Self-discovery and all that jazz, you know? The spectrum of specializations may be more focused than the base game, but they still feel like distinct individuals rather than just worker drones. That is, whenever you get the chance to talk and hang out with them. Because when you're back out on the planet and wandering around, they're busy with their assignments. They'll even ask to swap to another pending task, like, say, from the workshop to the research lab with a single key press. Building the right facilities to enhance their mood is key, as much as throwing a feast or playing games, and ensuring the radiation shielding holds up. But when it comes right down to it, The Alters is a game about gathering and resource management, and Last Variable isn't too different. Every time you venture onto the surface, there is a limited window to gather materials and explore. Some exploration routes are blocked off unless you have a specific tool, but they can offer useful shortcuts. You've been here before, right down to the anomalies that require the Illuminator to disrupt, including the annoying time dilation. And there's really nothing wrong with this adventure loop, seamlessly intertwined as it is with researching new technologies for mining faster or converting ALX to other materials, besides the essential theory needed to advance the plot. Trial and error may govern several expeditions, whether it's not having enough suit batteries on hand for the grappling gun or filling up the storage way too quickly. In that respect, the base building aspect is more awkward than the original since you start with a pre-made structure, which makes things easier and helps with the pacing for sure, but then comes the inevitable task of shifting things around to make room for more storage and other modules. Otherwise, the other big feature of Last Variable is the ability to enter Cryosleep and essentially preserve your lifespan across solar cycles. Your alters don't get the same benefits though, remaining awake to continue their tasks. From a storytelling standpoint, it's interesting because they could end up changing their demeanor and entire outlook on the mission. It's a bit of randomness since you never know if a reliable alter will suddenly decide to abandon the mission in favor of slacking off. As gimmicky as this may seem, it's interesting to see how these different Jans can age, evolving their characters and bringing forth new kinds of conversations and conflicts. And the impact on the core gameplay loop is enough to at least see the adventure through to the very end. From a presentation standpoint, aside from the lush greenery of the Oasis, there isn't too much that Last Variable does differently. Each alter's design is distinct and animates well, including their facial expressions. Though there are occasional bugs. In one conversation, Jan Physicist was facing the wrong way and continued about how the brain absorbs information and how close we are to science, even if we don't know it, helpfully illustrated by what I assume was a diagram. It was actually pretty riveting. I just wish that he was facing the correct way. Performance-wise, the expansion is about as you'd expect. Though particle-heavy situations, while the Illuminator is out, would cause some frame drops. Otherwise, exploring and interacting with the alters was as smooth as could be. The Alters Last Variable is a sizable campaign experience and one that's more than recommended for fans of the base game, though it depends on which parts were their favorites. While the survival elements and resource gathering didn't really diverge much, seeing how the many different kinds of Jan scientists with varying degrees of narcissism and excitement interact and try to get along makes it well worth the price of admission. Hey, did you know that we at GamingBolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.